Tonight I'm making an Asian-inspired soup that is super fast, comforting, and easy. I was gonna order out, but why do that when I know I can make it at home for cheaper? Any night of the week. It's all about balancing and making some small choices that really elevate the flavor. So these are the ingredients I'm gonna be using, and we're just gonna get right into it. Crank on that boiling water. Shiitake mushrooms. I have a dozen dried shiitake mushrooms. I actually picked these up when I was at the farm up in New Jersey. So I have one of these. Just gonna add them right to here, and then that boiling water. So this is a pretty quick recipe, but I wanna get these reconstituting. And I'm just gonna add maybe a cup or so of hot boiling water. So while these are soaking, I accidentally bought, the reason why I'm even doing this recipe is because I accidentally bought some silken tofu. So it's definitely much more jiggly than most of the tofus that I use. I don't use this often. So first thing that came to mind is to make this soup. Kind of a hot and sour soup. I'm kind of inspired. I was thinking about ordering out and I'm like, why? I have everything here. Well, I have most things to make this. So I'll make my version right now. 3 stalks of celery. I'm just gonna slice these super thin and add a little bit of an angle. Just for that crunchy, nice texture. Just use this here. Okay, we got that. I have about a thumb-sized nub of ginger, and I'm just gonna use a spoon, and I'm just gonna peel this quickly. It's easier to use a spoon. And then today, I'm not saving the skin. I'm just gonna cut the ends off. And I'm just gonna slice this into thin slices. And then from there, and I'm just gonna have like long, thin strands here. One clove of garlic, just one this time. And just give that a quick slice. And again, same as the ginger, just some thin strips. For the tofu, because it's much more delicate, I'm just gonna slice it just as it is. And if it breaks, it's fine. But I don't mind. I'll just lay that over here. The tofu ready. Now for seasonings, it's pretty basic. I'm just gonna use white peppercorns. And we have that ginger and the garlic, but a good amount of white pepper, because every time I have hot and sour soup, it's the most in-your-face ingredient that I really enjoy, and I've been enjoying it a lot more. I'm gonna add about a teaspoon. If you're gonna use powder, I would use less and taste as you go. But the peppercorns, it comes off much more fresh, much more fragrant, and not overpowering, because too much white pepper can kill a dish. You want just the right amount. And I find I get that by grinding my own. It's just delicious. Try not to let any stragglers. Whew. Nice and strong. Set that aside. So now this will all come together pretty quickly. I'm gonna use the Heston today. So this for soup, crank this on. We'll just start heating that up. Lion's Mane mushroom broth, and these guys are sponsoring this video. I've been working with these guys now for almost close to a year. Amazing product. I'm gonna add it right to the bowl. And now I find this is pretty concentrated, so it allows me to fill it up. I'm actually gonna fill it twice. So double, one with the stock, 2 filled with water. 1, 2. And I'm gonna bring this to a slow boil. But before that even starts, I'm gonna add the ginger, garlic, and celery right to it. I'm not gonna be sauteing much in this. This is just a quick soup, weeknight. Don't want too much fuss. I have some scallions, green onion here. Cut off the ends. I'm just gonna slice these super thin as I can. And I'm gonna take it all the way up to the green part. And then once you get to the green parts, I'm gonna slice these about a couple centimeters. We'll get 2 different textures. Dried chilies or fresh chilies? If you have dried, use dried. I have some fresh here, so I have 3. I'm gonna use 3. You do not have to add these at all. You can just skip it if you don't like spice. I really like spicy, so I'm gonna use 3 Thai chilies because they're the most flavorful. This is gonna be delicious. And just thinking about eating these chilies makes my mouth water. And anytime I handle them, I make sure to wash my hands. I have these shiitake mushrooms soaking. Now they're still hot and they're not totally hydrated yet, but I want just to have them enough for me to slice them. So I'm just gonna start slicing them. And it's offering a little resistance, but that's okay, because as soon as I slice these, they'll be able to absorb more water in them, and we'll just add them right to the soup. The smaller ones are done more. Now I'm gonna use that water that they're soaking in, and we're gonna use that right in the soup as well. So jam these out. Right back into that water. So this is slowly coming up to a boil, and I'm just gonna add the mushrooms right to it. Because I wanna use this container, I'm just gonna add this to this. And we're gonna add this in a minute. But I want this, and I don't wanna have to dirty something else. So I have some cornstarch here. 1 teaspoon of cornstarch into this container. And then I'll add a little bit of cold water, probably just a couple tablespoons, just to get that to dissolve. And just make sure that that is dissolved. And I'll set that to the side. I have some organic soy sauce here. I'm just gonna add maybe 4 tablespoons. I also have some rice wine vinegar. I'm gonna add about a 1/4 cup, so about 4 or 5 tablespoons. Just for that sweet and sour. It takes me a minute to find these things because I've been packing all my stuff up. If you notice, I don't have my jars over there because I am once again moving. I am going to be moving back to New England, and that's going to happen pretty soon here. I'm going to add 1 tablespoon of sugar. Just going to give this a quick taste. Yum. Yum. Man, that mushroom broth is so good. You know what? I might add a little bit more sugar, 2 tablespoons. And also a little bit more vinegar because I didn't get enough of that sour note. Now this is something you can play with and you decide how much you like and enjoy. This is one of the reasons why it's so hard for me to rate recipes, because everybody has different tastes, including me. And I do like to just tailor it to what tastes best. So always use a recipe as a guide. Unless you're baking. Now I'm gonna add the white pepper. And this is slowly coming up to a nice slow simmering boil. So yeah, the move. I am moving to Vermont. Well, Frankie and I. Up to where the snowy weather is. I have a lot of family up there, a lot of friends. That's where I grew up, not in Vermont, but I've lived in almost every state in New England except for Vermont. And I'm so looking forward to all 4 seasons. I love Texas. I love Austin. Austin is has a special place in my heart. I just can't stand the heat. And it's already, if it's hot outside and it's hot in the kitchen, it's just hot. It's not my ideal. So I'm going back to my roots. And as this comes to a boil, I am gonna taste it. Lots of tasting as we go. It's one very important thing I don't think I talk about enough. Yeah, because as it comes to a boil, it's really starting to activate all those flavors. You get a little bit of the sour notes, and it's not salty at all. As this comes to a boil, before I add the tofu and everything, I'm gonna thicken it. Cornstarch and water. Make sure it's mixed up, and we're gonna add that right to it. We'll let that cook for a couple minutes. It should be thick enough where it suspends everything in the soup. And it gets a little cloudy first, but then it'll clear away as it cooks up. And we're gonna bring that to a boil. And I think the thickness, okay, I think I might actually add a little bit more because I want it a little bit thicker than this. So about another tablespoon and another tablespoon of water. And I'll just add that right to it again. That should add the nice thickness I'm looking for. So guys, the move is gonna happen before the new year, so I have to figure out, it's already mid-December. I'm working on all the details of that. And then next year, I'm gonna start on my phase 3 of this whole project after leaving corporate America and businesses and investors and all that fun, joyous stuff and going back on my own. I'm gonna start the next phase and I'll share that in the new year, what that's gonna be. Oh, it's hot. Delicious. Add the tofu and the scallions and the chilies right to it. And I'm gonna stir this right in. I had some frozen peas in there. I love adding frozen peas. Any excuse I can add any more vegetables to something I will. And peas will naturally go with this. So I'm gonna add these right to it now. And I don't wanna cook this so much that they turn brown. So this is gonna be done in like 5 minutes. And all those flavors from the garlic and the ginger now, we're gonna infuse that with the chilies. For last, I'm gonna add a tablespoon or 2 of sesame oil for that extra level flavor. It smells delicious. Super excited about this. That broth just tastes, it's magic. To have it already done and so easy. So not only is it good for me, gluten-free, low fats, it's super flavorful. I have so many more ideas to do for these videos and I'll get some packing to do. So Frankie and I are gonna be heading up north, but we'll see you before then. If you like this video, I got a ton more very simple, easy, affordable recipes for you to make, all plant-based. I appreciate you for being here. Thank you so much. We'll see you soon.